This is a quick tutorial on how to take a Word document-based test bank and convert it for import into Blackboard. First thing we need to look at is the question format. These questions here are multiple choice, and we will go ahead and format those appropriately. The correct answers are highlighted in yellow. First thing we need to do is go behind each one of those, put a tab behind the answer, and then type in the word correct. So what we're doing here is adding a tab and then adding the word correct, and you can copy those and paste those behind every one of the correct answers. Okay, for the answers that are incorrect, we need to do the same thing, but identify those as incorrect. And then we can paste those behind each. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is, now that we have the questions or the answers identified as correct or incorrect, let's take all this data, copy it, and place it into an instance of Notepad. The reason I'm doing this is so we can get rid of any of the Microsoft formatting that is included in the background behind Word. If you do this directly from a Word document, it will not import into Blackboard nicely. Now we have some things of interest here. Each of these questions has a number. We do not need that data any longer. Blackboard will either randomize or take them in order, so what we will do is replace those with the letters MC, which means multiple choice, and then a tab. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this for each one of the numbers of the questions. Careful not to make a mistake there. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to rid ourselves of the ABCD. So backspace to the end of the question and then tab. All right, backspace to the end of the question, tab. Now I push down to get to the next one, the right arrow to get to the next line, up to get to the one I intend to change, click delete, 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 backspace, tab. Okay, each individual question must be on its own line. Okay, so as you can see here, that first question is now completely on its own one line. Okay. Okay, so now we have 6 questions, all on individual lines. Okay, this is ready for upload. I'm going to go ahead and save it as a text document, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on my desktop, and I will name it test import 1. Okay, I have a test import text document here. I'm going to go ahead and open up Blackboard and access one of my courses. Okay, I've accessed one of my courses, and now I'm going to open up the course tools, Scroll down to tests, surveys, and pools. I'm going to go to tests. Okay, I have several tests in here already. Now I'm going to build a test, and I will call this sample. You can give a description. In this box you can give instructions to the student. Okay, now we have a test called sample with no questions in it. Now I'm going to click the upload questions button. I'm going to go ahead and click the browse button, find on my desktop my test import1.txt file, click open, and I will give each question 1 point and submit. Okay, now the questions have been uploaded with the correct answers. We're not done yet though. This is now a test. What we want to do is convert this thing into a pool. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go back to surveys, tests, and pools. And this time I'm going to click into pools. You can see that I have several pools already created. I'm going to go ahead and build a new pool. This one I am going to call sample again. Here you can include description and instructions just as you did for your test. Now, when you want to find questions, what we need to do is search for tests that already exist. I'm going to include sample, and then I'm going to select all questions, submit, and now I have each one of the questions in a pool. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now here is my sample pool. Now if I go back to tests, surveys, and pools and go back into tests, I can go to the sample one that I originally created and delete it. Okay, the next time I want to build a test, I could use build test. This one I'm going to call sample 2. I'm not going to place any instructions. Now when I want to reuse questions, I can create a random block. Go to my pools, and here is my new sample pool. I'm going to use all types of questions, and here are the 6 that we built earlier. I'm going to submit, and now I have a random block. I have all 6 of my questions. I can give them 5 of the 6, and I can change the value of the questions. So in this case, we'll make it 20 points per question. Now they have 5 questions, 100 total points, and we could use this as a practice exam. And that is how we import from text.